All right, what is up, everybody? This is Brandon from ComixKings. Welcome back to the kingdom, or welcome if this is your first time. And today, I am joined by my friend Jen over at Comics Will Break Your Heart. Thank you, Jen, for being here tonight.
Thank
How are you
you.
doing?
I'm doing pretty darn good. I'm so excited to be here. You and I have kind of talked on like a couple channels and hung out a little bit, but it's really, really cool to be here with you today. So thank you for inviting me.
Right. And like you said, we were going to talk on other channels, and I always knew you as the indie queen. So when I'm like, when this book came out in trade, I was like, you know what? I'm hitting Jen up. She's the indie queen. We're going to talk about it. And this is The Department of Truth by James Tynion IV, art by Simmons. I don't know the first name,
Yeah.
but Martin Simmons. And James Tynion IV has been doing a lot of Batman stuff. He's been doing a lot of indie stuff with Wind, Into the Woods, and now this Department of Truth. And Something is Killing Children. Of course, if you're not reading that, then I guess you aren't reading indie comics. You're probably a diehard Batman fan if you're not doing that. But these are the books you should be reading from James Tynion. These are the
100% agree. I think that like for a lot of people, even when they don't read indies, like especially Something is Killing the Children, I feel like a lot of people who are heavy reading Marvel and DC, that getting a hold of Something is Killing the Children is like one of their favorite indie books. So 100%.
right. And in the chat, we got Gabby real quick. Hello, Gabby.
Hi,
How are
Gabby.
you doing?
Love your paintings.
Yes, awesome artist. Awesome artist. Got to get her doing some of these covers. That'd be so
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people look at James Tynion. He's introducing a lot of new characters in Batman because why not? Because he was supposed to be off this book probably a year ago, right? Because we still in Future State this time last year. So Tynion would have been off the books. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do whatever and choose my own characters. If it gets a movie, it gets a movie. I'll make a lot of money. But this is like his creator stuff. This is where he can get gritty and tell the stories that he really wants to tell. And this story is kind of, it's all about truth. It's all about playing on conspiracy theories, what should be in the public, what shouldn't be. And he throws a lot of his opinions, his political opinions in there, like jabs at it, you know, and like kind of appreciated exactly what he was trying to say, what he's trying to go with like the darkness he's creating this atmosphere.
Yeah, I agree. I love, as someone who like I enjoy conspiracy theories in this almost the same way that I enjoy astrology. Like I don't put too much stock into it, but I definitely enjoy it from a like an entertainment perspective. I'm not going to be like, oh, like my horoscope told me this, so this is how I'm going to treat my day. Like I just think of it in like a purely entertainment way, and that's the same way that I think of conspiracy theories. But the way that this book handles, because to me, like that's what this is about. Like we get introduced to this character Cole, who's going to a flat Earth Society convention, and it just like goes crazy from there. So I really appreciate the nuance and like I think the research that went into this. I hope James Tynion didn't go off the deep end with conspiracy theories doing the research for this, because you could
sometimes
like you easily like you can truly get sucked down those rabbit holes, and I think that's the part of this book is that like don't get sucked down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories.
Right. And the one thing I really appreciate about Tynion's indie books, in particular his indie books, is they make you like critically think about everything, you know, make you critically think about what's right and wrong, which is something we shouldn't think about. But a lot of times in literature, this is also why I appreciate, speaking of Batman Damned, is because when you're reading it, your brain is like thinking, and it's questioning like that right and wrong and stuff that like make you take that double take in life, which is exactly what he was going for. And, you know, and even in this book, after he had like a bunch of drinks, he's still questioning his decisions, wakes up on the Flat Earth Society, gets shot at, and then gets sucked into meeting Lee Harvey Oswald, who is probably the biggest source of conspiracy theories or theorists today. And I don't do conspiracy theories, and I'm even a political major. I'm a political major. I'm supposed to be studying this stuff. And I hate talking politics to people. I hate it because a lot of people are not educated enough to have these conversations. Where a lot of people take what they see on CNN or Fox, and they take the first headline, go on Facebook or Twitter, and copy and paste what people said off a teleprompter. They don't do research. And I don't like talking with people who don't do their research. Obviously Tynion did his research in this book.
100% he did.
And he throws jabs at leftists, rightists. So you're gonna get pissed off if you're one of the two. If you're in the middle, you're just gonna sit there neutral. We got
As someone is, I would probably say I am like a pretty far leftist. I still really enjoyed the book.
oh geez. I don't really put my political opinion out there, especially because I'm in a very liberal state. But if this is the middle, I'm slightly to the right. Right's this way, but very moderate, like right there. I'm not over here like a lot of stupid people are. Like, this is what the party should be, right? This is what the compromising part of my party is.
Yeah.
Not what we see in Congress, because already is. But we're not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about this.
We're here to talk about a book that talks about politics. We're
talk about politics and crazy lunatics.
Yes.
But I'm sorry, and if you're the person that is in conspiracy theories, this book is for you, because you're gonna sit there nodding your head like, I knew it the whole time. All right. Chet says, Jennifer, your shirt is awesome. Nice to meet you. Chet's a good friend of mine. He's a big X-Men.
Chet. Oh yeah, so I got Storm.
Yep, that's his wifey.
Oh, we'll have to share.
So anyway, we get introduced to this guy Cole, who has a husband that we don't really care about because they're not really together, because we're going through everything that Cole is going through. So once he's captured, or once he like gets into like kind of these CSI type people, we later learn they're the Department of Truth. It's him telling the story of what happened the night before and how he spent days away from his husband. You know, so as he's telling this story, what really captivated me was how much he remembered, because we've both had probably too much to drink and been around the wrong crowd. And I tell you, so I don't know anything until probably 3 months later. So the fact that he could recall it, that's how you know it's a good night. If you don't remember it 3 months later, he seemed to recall it 4 days later under a bunch of stress, you know? So to me, I thought that was a little weird. I don't know if you were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because in the first issue of this book, he's basically someone who we see him because he's been like kidnapped or captured by the Department of Truth. We don't really know who they are yet, but he's basically being led into the like FBI, CIA, something like that, and they're questioning him, and he keeps thinking like, y'all are going to kill me. Y'all are going to kill me. And the person who's interrogating him, we find out, is Lee Harvey Oswald, is like, just shut up about us killing you.
And tell us what you know.
Tell us what you know. Just fucking say it, dude. We're not going to kill you. We're not going to kill you. Okay, maybe if you like don't shut up about us killing you, we will kill you. But he ends up, what he does is he basically researches conspiracy theories, and more necessarily how people get into the mindset into going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole.
Right. And
so it's more of the like, yeah, it's more of like a psychology thing for him on like what the mentality is for someone to start believing in a conspiracy theory. So he's being interrogated, and they're like, okay, so when you went to this Flat Earth Society meeting, like what happened? And so you're right, like he's just kind of like nervous the whole time, and he's had a couple drinks, and so obviously you can tell this thing that happens in issue 1 has clearly affected him, because 1, he's afraid for his life, and 2, like it is ingrained in his brain.
Right. Like everything that's going through his head, he's like, yeah, just don't kill me. I'll tell you everything. Just don't do this. Let me get what he never even said he wanted to go back to his husband. He was kind of more explaining his circumstance, why he was there, why these people approached him. And clearly like they had eyes on him the whole time, which we're later going to find out that's true. So there's like this issue is so much buildup. We're just getting introduced to a plot that jumps back and forth. And right from the bat, we're hit with like amazing, like suspenseful panels, right? And that lady there with the sunglasses with the nice little Ray-Bans on, that's what I'm going to call them, she's very important. She doesn't have eyes, but clearly she can like see everything. And the fact that she is one of the only people in like a bright color next to the airplane stands out in this book. So you're automatically going to keep eyes on her, okay? And she's kind of like the eyes and ears of, is she even part of the Department of Truth, or is she just like part of both? it's not even been revealed yet, has it? We just know that she's there and she's important.
I think that the my conspiracy theory brain is thinking that she's possibly Jackie Onassis, um, Kennedy's wife. So that's my theory on who she is. I don't think
Similar.
I don't. What's that?
She has a similar hairline. I was like thinking that too. I was like, is she related to Kennedy?
So I think that because that's where like the maybe the time frame where this ends up starting, that's my theory. But I could be deeply crazily wrong. I feel like it's coded that way, but then the way that this book turns and I don't know, twists and turns, you never really know. Like I feel like you never really know who people are going to be. So.
Right, and that's what Tynion wants you to know.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of divides a story where it's like you don't know where this person is, right? Yeah. Not even the guy's significant other knows what's going on.
Yeah,
and I thought that I don't know. I thought the husband was a little weird, mostly because like they had a complete makeout session when he's like in a time where it's like that's not what I would do at the time. I think that Tynion was like, I mean, he's bisexual, so so I think he just wanted to hide that a little bit. But I think that was just like his choice. I don't think it fit in that situation. It felt a little weird to me. You know, it's like if I don't like comparing it to Marvel, but it's like if Wiccan and Hulkling just had like this huge battle, and it's like, okay, the first thing they're gonna do is kiss. They're not gonna figure out what happened. They're just gonna kiss.
As someone who wants to like see that queerness, especially in comics, like I appreciate those moments, but I do wish that in this the relationship that that Cole has with his husband in this book, it feels it's almost like I either want to see more of the husband or less. And there's a couple of moments here where, like later on in the book, where Cole is talking to his husband. Is it Maddie or
it's
Matt? So he's talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, I know you kind of like work for the FBI or whatever. I know you disappeared for 3 days, but are we good?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know, I can't talk about it." So, and like even a moment, and like even a little bit later in the book, he was like, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna go out. Are you okay if I don't come home?" So I don't know if the vagueness of that relationship is going to be revealed later on. The way that I think that Tynion writes, I think that he writes with that like plan in his mind. So I hope that comes further down the line.
Yeah, this is something he's gonna revisit. Now, I think like when you just put romance before a bunch of development, it's a little weird. No matter whether you're straight or gay. Now, even as a straight person, I don't think I say that in today's society. I don't feel like I should because it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But I like to see other people included, other people's races, ethnicities. I'm Jewish. I don't really see a whole bunch of Jewish people in there. And I wish we did get a Jewish person. Like, can't Wally West be Jewish? A little bit. He has the nose.
Yeah.
But
we want, you know, I think ultimately at the end of the day, as
for everyone.
Yeah. And especially for me, like, I am pansexual. So I feel like for me, it's like I have queer friends. I have friends from, you know, all walks of life. I want my comics to look the way that my life does, even though, you know, we're talking about superheroes, and in this one, we're talking about conspiracy theories. Like, I want characters that feel like are relatable. What's that?
Right. I don't want my life to be a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So like, that's no good. But yeah, like I have a bunch of friends in the LGBT community. A bunch of my peer creators are part of that community. Some creators happen to be my close friends that are part of that community. So comics are for everyone. Comics are a medium where
it's for everyone.
You know, comics are for everybody, no matter what age you are.
Exactly.
So I like to see that in comics. I just don't like it to be jawed down your throat. You know, it's like if two people are like constantly making out the whole book. I don't care. It's like just give me story before this. You know, and I thought that this relationship was very rushed to me. I have no problem with it. It's just I either want to know more about the husband or I don't even want to see him until later.
I could almost see maybe something happening along the lines of the husband was never there, or maybe he was part of the imagination, because you never see I mean, not that you really like see them with other characters, but you don't really see the husband interacting with anyone else other than Cole. So they could pull one of those like I see dead people type things.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really
That
think
might
that's
be a little bit too
horror. I
hokey.
think there's a different niche of horror to
Yeah.
where I don't think Tini wants to go branch that far. I think he really wants to focus on like what's true in society,
Mm-hmm.
what's true that's going on in my mind. You know, like decision wise, what should I do? Anyway, at the end of the first issue, we get this oh shit moment where the leader of the Department of Truth is Lee Harvey Oswald. Everybody knows who that is. If you don't, get a history textbook.
Yeah.
This is my minor. So to me, this is like up my alley, especially like I'm a huge fan of Undiscovered Country, and Two Moons just came out. Phenomenal book.
Love Two Moons.
It. Honestly, history is the way to go, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It is. There's so much in history that you can learn and write about.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the oh shit moment of the first issue. So that's like, this is why you should read the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's Harvey Oswald, and that's a name, right?
Yeah, and especially considering that the Department of Truth, which is this secret organization that tries to figure out conspiracy theories that are happening in order to make them not true, because if enough people believe in a conspiracy theory, it then will somehow change reality into making it true, or at least this other organization we'll talk about.
I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to translate it from what the hell is going on in my brain, so let me say it.
Mm-hmm.
Reading it, you're like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. But then you think about, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Their whole point is to keep conspiracy theories from being true, or else, like, what gives toxic energy, right? Fire. More people talking about it, right? What gives negativity fire? It grows like a cancer. Kind of like conspiracy theories. The more people you have believing it, more people you have interested, the more it's going to become true.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a learned behavior.
Yeah.
It's like if you tell someone they're annoying all their life, you're annoying, you're annoying, you're annoying. Oh, they're going to believe that they're annoying after like a few hits in the head.
It's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Right, and that's kind of like conspiracy theories. And he kind of, and I believe it was issue 4 that he touched on Obama, like Obama conspiracy. Now, obviously, this was written in a time where the script was written in a time where we kind of got a little bit of Trump conspiracy, but not a bunch to what we have now with everything going on. But even as a Republican, oh my gosh, that guy had to go. But we got Bryson here as someone who is more new, tried to sit back and watch all the beautiful chaos. I don't know if that's beautiful. It's more like keep pounding my head.
Yeah.
We got Chet. I must be going. I'll read this soon. Yes, you should.
Definitely read it.
Be well. I will be well as well. Clearly, you're the popular one, no matter what podcast. And then we got Texas history teacher. I think I know who this is. I think that's my friend Bovey. But what's up, buddy? He's a history teacher. We're talking about history, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
In the second issue, this is where we get a little bit more into the backstory of his childhood, a little bit, and like the conspiracies he grew up with. So he's in the Department of Truth now, and this lady shows up. She takes him out to pancakes, and these aren't just like your regular Aunt Jemima pancakes. These are like you're going out for IHOP pancakes.
These are like $20 pancakes, like $20 plate of pancakes.
And she's like, yeah, I work for the government. I'm going to treat you well. It's like 5-star pancakes, guys. 5-star pancakes. When am I going to interview Guy Fieri? As soon as he dyes his hair a different color. I don't know.
Red, right? Wouldn't that be appropriate? Yeah. Has he not already done that? I don't know.
He needs to get a 4th of July hairdo, red, white, blue. Yeah. He can just keep the white. He can just go red and blue on the other two sides. But that looks so cool with the white spike. I'm just saying. You have all, dude. Knowing you, buddy, you are gonna love this book. You're gonna love it. It is not Scott Snyder on Undiscovered Country. I know you don't like Scott Snyder. This is like actually critical thinking. This is a good book. It's not a headache read. It's not okay with Scott Snyder's Undiscovered Country. It's a headache read.
I did not enjoy Undiscovered Country at all when I was reading the single issues, and then I tried to read the trade and I didn't like it, but sorry.
I have the trade and I've interviewed the artist on it. So So he's also makes sense, written by James Tynion. Yes, because it's like critical thinking. This isn't like, okay, let me backtrack 50 years of history that you don't know about, but only I do. This is in the freaking Snyder Museum. But
yeah.
So anyway, we're getting pancakes, and we're learning more about his history growing up with something that happened when he was in elementary school that he has lived on with. We got Steve from Hip Hop to Me from Team Nerd Herd. What's up, buddy? You are right on time, my friend. Never too late. You had a nice show the other night. Lots of fun. I love what Team Nerd Herd is doing. Definitely check them out. But yeah, we're getting pancakes and they're chocolate chip. So we're learning about this traumatic experience. I'm not going to get too into it, but something happened that he knows that he can fix in the Department of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be able to fix it because everything ties in.
Yep.
Right. And Lee Harvey also like, this is a piece of the puzzle that you have to work your way up to. And he ends up getting on an assignment that he completely butchers, so he doesn't get his opportunity now. So that's essentially the second issue.
Mm-hmm. And in this one, I love how like each issue kind of goes over like a different, like touches on a different conspiracy theory. And this one features a lot of the like satanic panic from the 80s whenever we thought, or, you know, it was supposedly said that, you know, Satanists are going to come and they're going to kill your babies. And this one, a lot of the issues are really gruesome, but this one is really where I remember seeing like there's some very like gruesome graphic parts of like issue number 2. So it's tough because like, yeah.
About these?
Mm-hmm.
The double splash. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is too gruesome for people, but like this one right here where we see him like straight up eating a baby.
I feel like I feel like if you read this book, and you found it gruesome, you're not going to watch this podcast, but that's just my thought. Dude, holy crap, that's cool, but at the same time, like, I'm glad he was safe.
Wow.
Like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you knew someone who was there at 9/11, but it's
like,
but
was she? Is that the conspiracy? No, I'm just kidding.
This book has messed with us.
Yeah, seriously, after reading this, like, everything is a conspiracy theory now.
Yep. So apparently I'm going to be on Team Nerd Herd's podcast at the end of March, so that's something to look forward to. I'm getting getting some birthday mail calls soon, so.
Heck yeah, when's your birthday?
Sunday.
Sunday, nice.
So I'm going to have to keep it in the box.
So if you're not already subbed up, go sub up for his birthday. Hit that like button for a birthday.
Yeah. There we go. I'm going to be doing a birthday live stream that I haven't announced yet, but it has happened. If Lee Harvey Oswald played in the NBA, he'd be the best shooter of all time.
Ooh.
Oh, he'd be better than a Stephen Curry, but but Jen, do you know how to shoot?
I do not. I'm not sports material whatsoever.
You're not sports material. You'll stick to comics.
Yeah, I'll stick to comics.
But yeah, this is the book where he starts going, he's reliving this, right? So when he's trying to relive it and talk about it, he just goes into a huge traumatic fit. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like he's having a seizure, but he's having he's having seizure-like symptoms, but he's just going mad. Mm-hmm. The best way I can explain it is Sirius Black in Prisoner of Azkaban when he was trying to tell everyone it wasn't him.
Ah, okay.
That is the best, and that's just because I have my Hufflepuff thing on, I have my coffee, and it just makes me think.
The one thing that I really appreciated about this part, because like Cole personally experienced the effects of other people believing in this like satanic panic like conspiracy theory. So he experienced things as a child. So I think that like because of this, he's like, was it real? Was it not real? It feels really real to me. And then it seems like there's someone else, like another child who's being affected by this. So I think like he wants to like either, I don't know if he wants to protect her or if he wants to try to like figure out for himself if it's real or not. So like what's his motive there? So I thought that was pretty interesting there.
I think his motive, he said in the book, he's like, my motive is to stop this from happening to anyone else. Kind of like a cliche, but it's not cliche because he doesn't know that it exists. He doesn't even know
Mm-hmm.
if he's in his right frame of mind.
Yeah.
Because think about what conspiracy theories do and like this kind of thinking does to you. Even talking about this book is a little exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
It's draining, right? These conspiracy theories make you think and question, right? And based human psychology, the one thing we fear the most is not knowing something.
Yeah.
You don't know if someone likes you. Guess what? You're gonna knock down their door until you get an answer. You don't know if someone's mad at you. You don't know if you don't know something. Obviously, you're gonna research it, or you're gonna make something up to reinforce your not knowingness. You know, it's like if you don't know about politics, what you do, those are the kind of people that are going to be posting on Facebook, that are posting on Twitter, people who are trying to make themselves believe that they know politics. You're never going to openly talk about politics like at a bar or at a restaurant if you know about it.
Ooh, see, I talk about politics all the time, so that's
like you like with people you trust, not like just strangers, you know.
Oh, I will straight up talk to everyone about. No, I'm just kidding. But I do agree. Like, I think that hey, Rod,
in that house. What's up, brother?
I do think that the psychology that you were mentioning, I think it serves an evolutionary purpose. So I do think that at the end of the day, if we don't know something, we fill in the gaps, right? So if we don't know how we got from point A to point Z, what are we going to make up along the way? And I think that technology fuels that because we do have access to a lot of knowledge, but that also means that the caretakers of that knowledge, if they're giving us that knowledge, but it's maybe based on like, click on this, like you were mentioning earlier, like click on this link and like, or, this headline, the person who wrote that article wants to give you a crazy headline. So you click on it. So then they get like ad revenue. So like, I think that these conspiracy theories, they trigger something psychologically in us, or like sensationalized news does that to us. And that's where like, it serves a purpose, but has technology like fueled that? So
what's up, Adam? And to your point, yeah, it's like a lot of times I actually go to news sources. Like if you're gonna read something if you're gonna look at something on TV, right? Those are people who are talking behind a teleprompter. They're supposed to make you sound like their side is right. You go on a news site, it's more into depth, right? More statistics, more graphics. It's just longer, and it's just better to read something, right? And pull from multiple sources, and then your own opinion. I had a government professor, right? He stood on the very far left side of the room, started talking like he was a socialist. Every time he took a step down, he started talking like that next kind of place on the spectrum of the political opinion. Once he got all the way to the right, he talked like pure rightist, and you couldn't believe he was all of them. So that's honestly what I try to do whenever I talk politics. You're not going to know unless I tell you specifically. This is what I am. But and that's what Tynion is also, I think he's like trying to address is if you are just looking at something and you're buying into one side, you're not understanding the other part, which when we get to issue 4, that's like the big thing. Issue 4 and 5 is really when that kind of takes a turn. We kind of already I don't want to say nothing happens in issue 3 other than we start learning more about the history of Cole, right? And the different traumas that are leading to his conspiracies that he was digging into, because we all have our own conspiracies of what we thought happened, right? Like what happened in between Thor Ragnarok and Avengers Infinity War. Oh, Thanos got the Power Stone. What happened? He wiped out the Nova Corps. Oh, does that mean we're getting Nova? No, he's dead. Wait, no, he's not dead. What happened? But try being a history teacher after my neutral at all times. Try being in a history class with a professor you really don't agree with. I think that's just as bad. But I had this one professor. He was very racist towards all the white people in the class, and it was not a good time.
Oh goodness.
So that's kind of what we're learning out of issue 3. I don't know if you want to talk about it a little more. This issue was very tricky to me
Are you talking about issue number 4?
Issue 3. Issue 3. Like when we get like the American flag with like the guns.
Mm-hmm. I think that this one was really, really tough for me to read because once again, the whole like plot of it is about like the whole like theme of the book is that if people believe in conspiracy theories enough, it like triggers something in reality and makes them real. So this like because a lot of that has to deal with like hive mentality, right? But the issue number 3 gets very personal because um, the mother in it, her son died from a like Sandy Hook type event
yes.
in like a school shooting event, and so like there's a conspiracy theory that that things like that were a false flag, that those were just events that were carried out by paid actors to, that these children didn't die, that, people didn't lose their families. And so, like, that's tough. How do you, because there are real life people who harass parents of children who've been murdered by gun violence and harass them in several cases where some of these parents have died by suicide because they can't take the harassment anymore because they are told that their kid who's died didn't actually die, that they're a paid actor. So in this issue number 3, that's basically what's going on, is that this mother is simultaneously grieving about her son who died by gun violence, but also being tricked almost into thinking that she's a paid actor and that her son is still alive. So it's like, do you believe in this conspiracy theory that your son is still alive? But then, like, how do you deal with that grief and that trauma?
Yeah.
So to me, like, this one, issue 3 was a pretty rough one. I remember reading it in single issues and it was really a tough read.
Not get it. What's up, Kevin? Superpower Review just got to, I believe, 2.1k subs. So sub this guy up. Brandon, Jen, how are you? And then he says, what is up, comic community? We are here to talk about conspiracy theories because that's what we do. That's how we kick off our Mondays.
Oh my goodness, yeah, for sure.
Happy Monday, everyone. We're talking about conspiracy theories and all that good stuff. But right, to your point, it's like a lot of, and it reminds me of the movie. It just came out. This guy was falsely accused of the bomb, of like creating like a bomb, and he was put through so much harassment. Oh, what was the name of that movie? That's gonna haunt me.
Chat, does anyone know in the chat know what movie?
Yeah, in the chat, help me out. He was like this. He was this heavy dude, right? He was a security guard at a concert, and there was a bomb that people thought it was him, but he didn't actually do it, and he had to prove his innocence, and people were screwing him over, and he turned to. And I just remember his poor mom dealing with all that grief.
Yeah.
That it, like, they took this poor old lady's like house, and like her son away. Like, what? When is the issue about Alex Jones of the Frogs?
Every time I read this, like I really feel like this book not necessarily puts a lot of jabs at people like Alex Jones, but I feel like it really, really does.
Right.
And every time I hear Alex Jones, I just hear him singing "Gay Frogs."
And then what is up, John? How are you doing, brother? And
hey,
we got Bobby saying Paul Blart and Debbie does Dallas.
I wouldn't necessarily say the next issue goes into people like Alex Jones, but
it was the Richard Jewell movie.
Oh, what was that one? Who was in that?
It was what was the name of the movie? It was the bombing at like the 1996 Olympic game. No, I remember exactly what it was.
Got it.
But that's what it was. Okay. I'm not a movie person. I am a movie person, but I'm not a movie person.
Yeah.
People call me all the time because I haven't seen movies.
I'm a reader.
Yeah.
I do watch movies.
What comic I read, or you ask me what comic I read, and I'll be able to give you a list of 90 plus titles I'm reading at the moment simultaneously. But I remember last night I was looking through Invincible and Daredevil at the same time while
Oh,
watching Infinity War. I was like, oh gosh.
that's way too many tabs open in the mental browser.
Yep, there we go. Alberto making a Marauders situation where the cops convince the suspect has killed his neighbor.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah, it's the one with the guy who played the Stingray dude in Cobra Kai. Yes, Bryce, thank you. Thank you.
I have never seen this movie, but it sounds interesting.
Cobra, you gotta watch Cobra Kai.
That's the YouTube one, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now. Okay.
It's such a cliche plot, but the like the nostalgia of the Karate Kid is so good. All right, yeah, but issue 4. This issue to me was I want to say it was, yeah, I don't want to say it was my favorite. It was the one that made me think about the most. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Cole wants to pursue his life trauma. So he goes to Lee Harvey Oswald. He says, "Hey man, help a brother out." And Lee Harvey Oswald is putting the pieces together. But Cole's just not getting it. He's like, "Dude, you're a freaking idiot."
Mm-hmm.
Like, these all tie in together. He's like, "What we're doing is we're attacking the truth. We're taking stuff that isn't true. Okay, but we are trying to keep it there. We're trying to keep it in that gray area." He said, "So take a look at this conspiracy theory, right? If it has 5 branches to it, we like that. Because
it gets convoluted."
Right, because it gets convoluted, and now you have gray area that has storm clouds all in it. Mm-hmm. Okay, instead of a gray area with one strand coming out where people are going to believe that same thing, you know?" He's like, "We don't want that because then people are believing the same thing, and then that will become true. We want people debating about it because no one knows and is creating chaos.
And then no one can agree on it, right?"
Exactly. So then he starts talking about different presidents. Mm-hmm. So this is where you kind of this is where Tynion pretty much flexes his history knowledge on us. He starts talking about
there's a beautiful timeline here.
Right. Right. And he's like, the way that these panels are drawn is very much like, okay, here's a sequence of events. And the book as a whole is basically drawn in a timeline. Mm-hmm. And that's done that is so artistically well done, both on Simmons and Tynion's part, right? Because it's almost like the panels itself are trippy enough. So he starts going into Barack. He starts going into and he starts going in, why didn't people like Barack Obama? Mm-hmm. Right? Because when they see a president, they see someone like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and then you get Barack Obama, and it's unsettling to their subconscious.
Yep.
So they're naturally going to rebel instead of letting loose a little bit, right? So then they're going to start believing, okay, he was born from Kenya to justify that unsettledness. Now we know he was born in Hawaii.
Yes.
If you believe that, go to someone else's Twitter account because his is banned. And
and one thing
on his Twitter page until he releases tax forms, and then it did get released. So New York's are throwing a party right now,
right?
Lawsuit going.
One thing that I appreciate about this, to your point about kind of going after different presidents, is that as someone who graduated high school in the middle of the Bush era, and that probably ages me, but whatever. But having a very I was very much into conspiracy theories, getting into the 9/11 conspiracy theories and a lot of the New World Order, things like that. And it was funny to see seeing those, see the flip on people who didn't trust the government because they felt 9/11 was rigged, an inside job, and then kind of seeing about kind of this switch that was flipped whenever Obama got the presidency, and then seeing all of the conspiracy theories that came out about him. And it was almost like some people can believe in one conspiracy theory but not believe in another, and it's where do you draw the line? And I think that's where this goes into, where it's once this conspiracy theory gets convoluted enough, but how do you do that for each one?
Right. Where do you put all that? Can't wait till the recent about the
Yeah, I feel like it really will. I have a couple of at least theories on where like conspiracy theories that I would like it to go in future issues, but
I'm sticking with my Avril Lavigne conspiracy theory. I think she's still dead. I don't care what you guys say because she's not the same queen that she was when she was like doing her punk stuff. And she came back like, oh no, ugh.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Adam in the comments mentioned Zeitgeist. Like when that came out, like I probably watched that movie like 100 times.
that
Oh my goodness.
this is where I date myself. I'm turning 20. It went right over my head. It's like, which is good. We have this going on, but I like the part where it's like, and I don't care who had sex with which Clinton. I was like, no one wanted to know that anyway.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, he wasn't the best president. He wasn't the best husband either.
Mm-hmm.
Hillary would have been the worst, but is she better than what we got? That's still up in the air because they should both, instead of saying they should be in jail, they should both be cellmates together and get over the beat in a cell together.
And that's one thing, like when I know that I talk to people about conspiracy theories, and it's like, especially I feel like the conspiracy theory with like QAnon and stuff is basically about the Clintons having like underground pizza sex shop children's slave rings. And it's like, if you can believe that, but you can't believe that like every other person is doing that, like that's, I don't know.
Right. I feel like also once you get to like to that part in your life, people are gonna have conspiracy theories about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like how many conspiracy theories about Rob Liefeld when he was with Image Comics, or even in our comic community? Yeah. Think about the conspiracies in our comic community, right?
I think they just call that speculation.
There's no
speculation is a conspiracy theory. Let's
exactly, call it all you want. And Gary, if you listen to this, no Silver Surfer #3. That's not happening in WandaVision. For all you WandaVision conspiracy theories, we're not going to see Mephisto in the MCU for another 10 years. They're not going in that direction. But anyway,
it'll be a while.
I can't stand people who are throwing Mephisto into this WandaVision. I'm like, no, look at where they're going in the other movies. Yeah. But I feel like issue 4 is where everything got real, especially because after this big issue. So he's like, now I need to test you. Okay, now we're getting back to the book. He's like, I need to test you. If you really want to go after this guy, see these 2 dickheads in the room next door, go kill them because they're conspiracy theorists. And they're going to expose the Department of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's like, see, we have to be a conspiracy theory. This department has to be a conspiracy theory. We can't allow our branch to be in the public because then everything that they will believe about the government is true. And even saying that gives me a headache.
Yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in this for sure. But you're right. Like at the end, it goes from that like 0 to 100. Maybe not 0, but like all of a sudden, it's like, hey, let's see how far you're willing to prove yourself to make sure that like our end goal is met. You've got to go kill these complete strangers.
Right. And then he's like, okay, wait. I don't know. Like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it. So issue 5, we're dealing with that now. I like this cover. I like this opening. I like the horse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the Denver International Airport.
I always like it when people draw horses. Oh. I always like it when artists draw horses because, like, you know how hard it is to draw a horse?
Yeah.
Right? And look at, like, Russell Dodman in War of the Realms. You drew that on every freaking panel. And you drew multiple of them. And I'm like, I would be so pissed at Jason Aaron. Like, he's buying me sushi every night for making me do that.
Right.
Sure, made me draw the same horse in 32 different pages. 3 on each page with Spider-Man riding it.
Was that part of like the audition? Like, was there a physical audition? Like, okay, you've got to draw like 32 horses right here, right now.
You have to draw like George Perez, but on steroids. Got it. Oh. Russell Dodman, go. And then Matt Wilson sitting there going, hell yeah, man.
Like, this is a lot of fun.
It's like, oh, connect the dots all over again. Oh, horse here. Or I spy a horse. I spy Spider-Man. Oh, I spy Thor's hammer. But anyway, go read War of the Realms. It's Thor's awesome. Can't say. Is that a cat? Or that is the Notorious cat.
It's Luna. He was being fussy earlier, but I'll see if he wants to.
He doesn't like me. He's not a Hufflepuff.
He's a big old boy. Every time I do a show, he always wants to hang out. So,
if you guys know, like Koi Gerardru, the podcaster, with his dog, the spider cat, or no, his cat, the spider cat. That's what it is.
aw.
It was in the video game. It got so popular, we put him in the video game, the spider cat. So who knows? Maybe Luna will be in the next game.
Maybe.
If they ever release a Department of Truth video game, Luna's going in there. Luna. You thought that was a pillow?
He was like, thought I was just, okay, come on, dude. Yeah, he's got to like spread out. He's a huge cat. He's like 30 pounds.
Hey, we are Captain Comics in here. What's up, my brother?
Hello.
Lamer Frame Crew. That's my teammate. It didn't go so well.
Oh.
We didn't get a single point.
Oh, man. I always feel like I end up missing that show. Either like I'm working or
or it's at night. Sorry, Region, but I always catch the replays of it. But anyway, issue 5, we're dealing with all that. He calls the husband. Which is what we were kind of talking about earlier. And it's like, okay, if I just killed someone, what is the first thing I would do? First off, I would just look at him and be like, yeah, I did that. But I would. Oh, Roscoe's here.
Hey, Roscoe.
We're talking about that too. We won their hearts. Yes, we did, Captain. Yes, we did. Yeah, next time I gotta get on Roscoe's team. Like, this guy didn't even have any references. He need you like Bugs Bunny and still got first place. I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, so the first thing he does is, he gets in a cab, and his husband calls, but he doesn't call his husband. His husband calls him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, and he's like, yeah, no, I didn't do that. He's like, yeah, I can't tell you about this, but he goes home, and now the people who captured him are there, and they're like, know where you are.
Yep. Because like throughout the whole book, there's kind of like this counter agency to the Department of Truth called is it the Black Hat Group or the Black Hat Society?
Black Hat, like Cat in the Hat, Black Hat.
Yeah. So like there's this Black Hat Society, and I believe that's who is like ends up like not ambushing him at his home, but like approaching him at his home after he's just like killed some people.
Yeah, or it's like kind of like vice versa, right? Because when he was in the Department of Truth, it was after he got kidnapped and shot at. And I was like, okay, I shot people, and now these people are waiting for me because they're spying on me. Yep. Conspiracy theorists spying on me. So, and then what's interesting enough is the conspiracy theorists, they're testing what happened, right? And they're like, we haven't told you anything that's not true. Like, look what they're doing. They're conspiracy theorists too.
Like, especially after Cole, because he's just come from work where he had to kill 2 people to basically prove that he was like in it, like an initiation ritual almost for the Department of Truth. And then Black Hat comes in and they're like, you think we're bad? Like, who did you just kill people for?
Right. Like, we didn't kill anyone. We almost did, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
We're trying to expose people that killed people. And then Ruby comes into the Black Hat escape. Ruby's the agent that has been like kind of like his mentor, the one that bought him pancakes.
Yeah.
She's the pancake lady.
Yeah, pancake lady.
I was gonna say that it's like Aunt Jemima, but I'm like, that. No, I'm like, yeah, no, Brandon, don't do that. My filter finally kicked in.
I think of Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec, because she loves waffles. So it's basically like the Department of Truth version of Leslie Knope, because government and
back in Jill when like she woke up the next morning, like Sandler movie, and like all the pancakes. After he go into that Mexican food like thing, I was like, okay then. But anyway, yeah. So we find out that both sides have been trying to get this guy because of the trauma he experienced as a child. Okay, but we see at the last page Ruby doesn't know why it's him, and he doesn't know why it's him. They just know that Lee and the black hat want him for whatever reason, and the red chick is still, where is my camera? She's still lingering there. It's like she kind of reminds me of Heimdall a little bit, like except she's physically there. So that's kind of where we're at. That's where we left out with. What is up, Chad, the Canadian geek? And then Bobby says, bring back Aunt Jay. She's one of the goats. Yeah, her syrup is the best line of syrup. But that's where we're at. And I have not read issue 6. It's already out. Came out.
It was pretty interesting how they did this, because normally, like, a book finishes and then we wait a month or two, and then the trade comes out, and then maybe like a month or two, and then the next beginning of the arc comes out. But issue 6 came out, and then the trade for this came out. What's that?
The same day.
Yeah, same day. So I picked it up. I really enjoyed it. It's done by a different artist. It's done by Elsa. I butcher her last name, but she did November with Matt Fraction, and I really enjoy her artwork, but it is a completely different style from Department of Truth. And the storyline is a little bit wacky. Like, it goes somewhere completely different. I still really enjoyed it, but I understand how it's not going to be for everyone.
Right. And this book, obviously, if you're someone who's been so anti-politics these past, how many years have we been in hell? 4 years? Wow. As an American, I know what you means in here, so I'm not speaking on you guys. I'm speaking as an American.
Yeah.
Then this book may not be for you. I think Tynion's trying to play off that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of throwing in that dark political humor.
Yeah, and I think that this book, for me, like, if you grew up with things like X-Files, and if you like Philadelphia, I feel like that's what I would say, because the artwork style reminds me a lot of Jason Sean Alexander's artwork from Philadelphia. Yeah. And this gives me such, because X-Files was creepy, but this goes into more modern day conspiracy theories. So maybe Black Mirror X-Files type thing. That's how I would describe it. That's my elevator pitch for people to read this.
Hell, it just started in January. Hot take. I don't know. Okay, I think what both presidents are doing really wrong, and I don't want to talk about this. I really don't. I'm going to say it anyway. What both presidents are doing wrong, and I'm doing this on a live stream. Oh my gosh. They're both using too many. They both used too many executive orders during the first few weeks of the president, first month and a half of their presidency. That's what I don't like. I like. That to me, just that automatically takes away your trust in Congress and takes away your trust in the people. Is if you're the first thing you do is executive order, executive order, executive order. Grows the executive branch out way too much, in my opinion. And it's I'm coming in here with my agenda to screw you guys. You should be that's the vibe that I'm getting from both of them. And Joe Biden ate my dad's restaurant, so I'm biased.
I think that for me, since we're on the subject of politics and executive orders, I think that each president does a fair share of them, right? And I think that ultimately, at the end of the day, is it that you don't like any executive orders, or is it that you only like a certain party's executive orders? Because a lot of people who were pro-Trump, who still are pro-Trump, didn't disagree with any of the executive orders he did, but they seem to be anti executive order now. So it's are you, I don't know. So to me, and I think that what's been happening in the last month is that Joe Biden's trying to undo a lot of things that Trump did, which a lot of those things weren't great. But I think that if you're really going to do an executive order, just do it. If kids are still in cages, get them out.
Right. and I agree. Some executive orders are fine, but some Biden didn't necessarily have to pass just then and there. Where's this going to make me cancel ComixKings? Now, no matter where you come from, there's always something that a president does good and something a president does bad. Yeah. So for me to sit here and say Joe Biden is this and this, or Barack Obama is this and this, right? They both did good things there, or Biden has done great things and he's done bad things in his since he's been president. Trump, same thing. He has done some good things, whether you like it or not, right? Whether he wants to be a good person, absolutely not. No. But did he do some good things? Can you sit here and say he did nothing? No.
I think for me, like, it ultimately comes down to, like, the people who love Trump, like, they won't see the flaws, right?
Right.
Where you can be simultaneously anti-Trump and anti-Biden.
It's like, here's the thing. It's like, this is one thing I don't like. It's like, oh, you're talking good about Trump. Oh, then you must love him and hate Biden. Or you are talking bad about Trump. You must love Biden. Can't I just be unbiased and get what it's doing as a whole, right? To me, that's like, oh, if you're not this, then you're that. And it's like that assumption.
Yeah.
So I plan for this to be going into Trump or Biden? No, because like, do I like them both? We will see 8 years from now which one, right, did better or worse for the country, right? I think it's still too early to have that debate on the legacy that they will have in their office in their tenures.
Yeah.
It's still very early.
I think that oh man, I could talk about like I said, I love talking politics, so I could talk about it for hours, but I won't. But I do think that, at least in the spirit of this book, it's definitely about that critical thinking and what you think you know. Is it really about what you know, or is it what you want to believe? Like, to quote X-Files, because I definitely would say this is X-Files vibes, the truth is out there, but you gotta wait through a lot of lies.
Exactly. And then Adam hit it right on the point. People's views are so extreme when the world is not black and white, right? It's like you can have your opinions, right? Be educated in your opinions. Be very educated in your opinions. If you are going to be talking about it in public, know what you're talking about. Know what you're talking about. Please. You know, and just don't assume if I like someone, okay, then I'm anti it. No, because you can look at it saying, bing, bang, boom, right? Talk about football. I'm a Steelers fan. I can say the Ravens suck. They're our rivals. I hate them. But I can see that they're a good team, you know. They have their... It's like they say, it's like talking sports, except on a more...
Yeah. You'll never find me talking sports because I have no clue about sports.
Jen, all you got to know are the Steelers are the best team of all time. If Justin tells you otherwise, I know he's a Ravens fan. Don't listen to him.
Oh, my God.
But anyway... Yeah, so Department of Truth, what's real, what's not true. And there are a lot of Easter eggs that we didn't touch on that are thrown into this book. So if you are, and like all conspiracy theories, they have their Easter eggs, they have their moments. This book had them. Okay. But with every book, you're gonna like stuff a lot, which you didn't like. I don't know. My biggest flaw in this was the husband, because I think he was just there. He was there.
Or not there. He was barely there. Like, either don't put him in the book, or like, really, like, I wish that there was more of the husband, right?
Or with history about him. Give us a vibe. Give us something. Maddie kisses him when he shouldn't.
For sure.
Which, hey, you want to kiss him? Kiss him. But you do it at your time. Don't do it do it when he comes home from groceries. You say, how's your day? Come here. Not, oh, you're about to go. You just came home after being kidnapped. Not, what's wrong? Are you okay? Okay. But anyway, I believe that is it for today's deep dive in Department of Truth. I love doing these live reviews.
Yeah, this is cool.
Thank you, Jen, for joining me.
Thank you.
This was our first stream together. No, because I was on
Comic Shop News. But it was very brief because, like, I was late, and then, like, I hopped on, like, I think you had to go, so it was like super brief.
Yeah. But anyway, if you guys want to see more of indie deep dives, maybe I should make a playlist for that, and we do indie deep dives, and that could be like a new show. Who knows? But thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. If you catch the replay, shout out to you guys because you guys are also the true believers of this show. Make sure y'all subbing Jen. Make sure y'all subbing me. And yeah, her link is in the description. Make sure to shout her out. And this was the Department of Truth. If you guys want to see more deep dives, comment below. This was the Department of Truth. Go crazy with it. Take care, you guys. Make sure y'all staying safe.
Bye.